Hello and welcome to yoga today. Let's get started seated, gently closing your eyes, relaxing your shoulders down, resting your hands in your lap, and breathing in and out through your nose. Before we start getting into some movement today, we're going to work on some breathing. So we're going to do alternate nostril breathing. So for this, either hand works. You're going to take one hand, your first two fingers, and place it in between your eyebrows. And then you can rest your other hands by the side of your face. You're going to be using your ring finger and your thumb to plug opposite sides of your nose. All right, so to start, take an exhale, then use your thumb to plug one side of your nose, and then inhale just using one side of your nose. On the top of the inhale, switch fingers, so plugging your nose with your ring finger, opening your thumb out to the side, and then exhale. Inhale on the same side. And then before your exhale, switch fingers, so you're exhaling through the opposite side. And then continue at your own pace, so you're switching fingers after each inhale. Finish one more round of breath, finishing by exhaling with your thumb plugging your nose. And then once you finish, go ahead and remove your hand from your face, relaxing your arms down, breathing in and out through your nose normally. And on your next inhale, sweep your arms up overhead, maybe look up towards your hands. And then exhale, twist toward the left, allowing your arms to come down, looking out over your left shoulder. On your next inhale, untwist, lift your arms back up, and then exhale to twist to the other side. Inhale, lift your arms, untwist, and exhale, release your arms down, come forward to hands and knees. I'm going to stretch out our wrists here a little bit before we move further. So from your tabletop position, walk your fingers away from each other. So fingers toward the outsides of your mat, and then press your hands strongly into the floor and try gently shifting forward and back, avoiding any areas that might hurt your wrists. If it's too much pressure on your wrists, feel free to walk your wrists closer towards your knees. Then bring your shoulders back over your wrists, and a few times try shifting side to side, again trying to keep both hands pressing into your mat as you do so. And then come back to center. Walk your fingers so they're facing forward again. And then walk them so they're facing each other. Press your hands down to your mat and shift forward and back. come back to the middle, shoulders over your wrists, and try shifting side to side. Bring your shoulders back over your wrists, walk your fingers toward the front of the room, and then carefully lift your hands off the floor. You can come up to kneeling, maybe sit back on your heels, and wiggle around your fingers, open and close your fists, your hands around in some circles. And then let's come back to child's pose, maybe widening your knees, and then walking your hands forward, maybe palms pressed flat or palms lift, balancing on your fingertips. Press your palms flat into the floor, and then shift forward to a modified plank, straight line from your shoulders to your knees, and then exhale, lower all the way down to the ground. Hands under your shoulders, press tops of your feet into the floor, maybe walk your feet back a little bit so you have length in your body. And then on your inhale, lift up to a cobra, lifting your head and shoulders, staying low for now, and then exhale, come back down. Continue to lift and lower with your breath. Try to keep little weight in your hands. Maybe as you lift up, you lift your hands up off the mat. Lift one more time and then hold, keeping shoulders away from your ears. Hands hovering above the ground. Maybe also try lifting your feet off the ground as if you could reach your toes to the back of the room. Take one more inhale here. Exhale, release everything down, and then push up to a modified plank. From here, let's take downward dog, tucking your toes, lifting your knees, lifting your hips, and pedal out your heels, bending one knee at a time. Then begin to walk your hands toward your feet. Find a forward fold near the back of your mat. We'll slowly roll up to standing, letting your head and shoulders hang down at first as you slowly begin to roll up. Eventually, lift your gaze, lift your arms up overhead. And then let's roll all the way back down. First, bringing your arms by your sides. Tuck your chin toward your chest, round your shoulders forward. Maybe a slight bend in your knees as you slowly roll down. And then once your hands reach the floor, crawl your hands out on your mat to come forward to a plank. We're going to take a vinyasa from here to downward dog. So on your exhale, lower down to the floor. On your inhale, come up to cobra. Exhale back down. Inhale to your modified plank, and then exhale, downward dog. In your downward dog, lift your heels high, bend your knees deeply, and then see if you can find any more length in your spine, reaching your hips away from your hands. Try to keep that length as you slowly begin to straighten your legs, bring your heels toward the ground. And then we're going to come down into tabletop, knees all the way to the ground. And let's find a modified side plank. So you're going to kick your left foot out to the left, and straighten your right leg. and then lift your right arm up toward the ceiling. From here, lift your right foot off the ground, right foot flexed. Then on your next inhale, lower it down toward the floor, not quite to, and then exhale to lift it back up. Repeating with your breath, carefully lifting and lowering your back leg, trying to keep the rest of your body as still as possible. One last time, lift your foot and hold. Option to stay here or try for the bind, which would mean bending your right foot, grabbing your right ankle with your right hand. And then from here, you can imagine kind of like dancer pose, you kick your foot into your hand to reach your foot away from your hips. Trying to keep your hips open toward the side. Slowly release the bind, stretching your leg back out, right hand up toward the ceiling, and then see if you can lift your right foot up a little bit higher. One more breath here. On your next exhale, let your foot come down to the floor and reach your right hand toward the front of the room. So you're getting a big stretch here in the right side of your body, maybe lifting your hips up higher. And then return to tabletop. We'll do that same sequence on the other side. So this time, kick your right foot up to the right, straighten your left leg, and lift your left arm. Maybe wiggle around your left hand, your left wrist, since it's been having a lot of weight on it. And then lift your left foot, flexing your left foot. And then on your inhales, lower your leg. Exhales, lift it back up. Next time you lift your left foot, hold it lifted. Maybe try for the bind, bending your left foot, grabbing hold of your ankle with your left hand. And release the bind. Left hand up, left leg straightens out, and then lift your left foot higher. On your next exhale, release your left foot down, reach your left hand toward the front of the room, stretch into the left side of your body. And then let's return to tabletop and find a downward dog. Step your feet towards your hands, forward fold. On your inhale, lift partway, lengthen your spine. And exhale, fold back down. Inhale to stand, reach your arms up overhead. And exhale, hands by your sides. Inhale, sweep your arms up. Exhale, forward fold, straight spine. Inhale, lift part way. Exhale down and step or hop back to a plank. And then take a vinyasa to down dog, maybe coming all the way to the floor or lowering just halfway, then coming up to upward dog, keeping your hips lifted up off the floor, eventually meeting in downward dog. Lift your right leg up behind you, three-legged dog, and then bring your right foot forward in between your hands. Finding a lunge here. And then let's come up to crescent pose. Reaching your arms up overhead. And then on your next exhale, bend your back knee, lower it down toward the floor. Not quite touching. Inhale, lift back up. Let's do that 2 more times with your breath. Once you're back in crescent pose, we'll keep the legs still and move the arms. So on your next exhale, lean forward, sweep your arms forward, down toward the floor, and all the way back towards your hips. And then inhale to slowly sweep your arms back up, lifting your torso back up. And repeating with your breath. Pause next time you lean forward, your arms by your hips. And then turn your palms up toward the ceiling and see if you can lift your hands even higher above you so your hands come above your hips. And then sweep your arms back all the way around, up toward the ceiling, come up to crescent pose. Take an inhale here, and then exhale both hands to the floor. Step back to a plank, and take whatever version of you'd like of vinyasa to get to downward dog, even if you decide instead to do a child's pose. From your down dog, lift your left leg up behind you, and then bring it forward in between your hands. When you're ready, lift up to crescent pose, arms lift overhead, and then 3 times here, lower your back knee down toward the floor, and slowly straighten it back out. Next, sweeping the arms on your exhale, leaning forward, arms forward, down, and back by your hips, and then inhale to reverse, lifting back up to crescent. Next time you're leaning forward, arms alongside you, stay there. Turn your palms up toward the ceiling, and then lift your hands as high as you can while keeping your arms straight and without hurting your shoulders. Almost as if someone could come up behind you and place a platter on your hands. Slowly make your way back to crescent. Arms lift. Take an inhale here. And exhale, hands to the floor. Stepping back to your plank and taking a vinyasa to downward dog. Walk your hands towards your feet. Find a forward fold at the back of your mat. On your inhale, lift partway, lengthen your spine. Exhale, fold back down. Inhale up to standing, reach your arms overhead. And exhale, hands by your side. Inhale, sweep your arms Exhale, forward fold. Inhale to lift part way. Exhale down and walk your hands forward, coming out to a plank. Okay. Option for another vinyasa here. We'll meet in down dog. From down dog, lift your left leg up behind you, three-legged dog. Option for scorpion, lifting your left hip and bending your left knee. Slowly level out your hips and bring your left foot forward in between your hands. And then let's lift up to warrior two. Hips toward the right side of your mat, arms parallel to the floor. Reverse your warrior, lift your left arm toward the ceiling. Next we'll go to triangle, so straighten your left leg, reach your left hand toward the front of the room, allowing it to come down wherever it lands on your left leg, reaching your right arm up toward the ceiling. From here we're going to come to half moon. So you might want to walk your back foot in a little closer, bending your left knee. Place your left hand on the floor and then lift your right leg, trying to keep your hips open to the right. You can stay here, or you can do the same bind we did from the side plank, so bending your right knee, reaching for your right foot with your right hand. Slowly release the bind, and then carefully come back to warrior two. Landing in your warrior two, take an inhale here. Exhale, hands to the floor, outside your left foot, stepping it back, taking a vinyasa from here and landing in downward dog. From down dog, lift your right leg up behind you and find scorpion here, lifting your right hip, bending your right knee. And then bring your right foot forward in between your hands. And lift up to warrior two. Lift your right arm, coming to reverse warrior. Then find triangle, straightening your right leg, bringing your right hand down, and reaching your left arm up. And then make your way to half moon, bending your front knee, walk your back foot a little closer. Place your right hand on the floor and then lift your left leg. Maybe staying here, maybe bending your left knee, reaching for your left ankle with your left hand. Release the bind, stretching back, back out to half moon, and then drop back down to warrior two. Take an inhale here, exhale hands to the floor. Step back to plank, Kaika Vinyasa to downward dog. In your downward dog, lift your heels high, bend your knees, lengthen your spine a little bit more. Keep that length as you lower your heels, straighten your legs. And then let's come down to child's pose. Knees down, hips back. Maybe bringing your palms together and bending your elbows, bringing your hands to the back of your head. Re-extend your arms and then walk your hands in towards you to come up to seated. And let's lower down to the floor. So come on into a seat. However you'd like, go ahead and lower your spine down to the ground, resting your head and your shoulders, feet flat on the floor. We're going to do a couple bridges here. So bring your arms alongside you, feet hips distance apart. On your inhale, lift your hips up toward the ceiling into a bridge, and then exhale, lower back down. Continue a few more times, lifting and lowering with your breath. You can lift and lower with a mostly straight spine, or you can peel your spine up and down, one vertebrae at a time. Next time you lift into your bridge, hold, keeping your hips lifted. Maybe walk your shoulders underneath you and clasp your hands together behind your back. Try lifting your heels up off the floor, bouncing on the balls of your feet. Maybe keep your heels lifted as you lower down, first releasing your arms to the side, and then slowly bringing your back down, hips down, and finally heels to the floor. And then take windshield wipers, let your knees move side to side. Next time your knees are toward the right, leave them there. Finding a reclined twist, open your arms out into a T. Maybe turn your gaze toward the left. If you want to increase the twist, you can walk your feet closer to your right hand. Maybe try extending one or two legs. Turn your gaze back up toward the ceiling and walk your legs back to center. Feet hips distance apart, lift inside your hips, straighten out your spine, and then switch sides, knees toward the left, gaze toward the right. Maybe walking feet toward your left hand and or straightening one or both legs. Gently untwist, make your way back to center, and then bring your knees in towards your chest. Lift the soles of your feet up toward the ceiling for happy baby, grabbing a hold of your ankles, gently pulling your knees down on either side, maybe rocking back and forth a few times. And from here you have the option to go towards Shavasana, finding a comfortable resting position, maybe setting a timer for yourself, pausing the video because it's going to end in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.